This is KLBK's Weather Aware Severe Weather Special, sponsored by Paint Doctor.
Welcome into the 2022 KLBK Severe Weather Special. Prepare to be weather aware. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jacob Riley. Joining me are meteorologist Jack Maney and forecaster Emily Falkenberg.
This evening, it is our goal to inform you, the residents of eastern New Mexico and western Texas, on the different types of severe weather we see every single spring here on the South Plains.
And to go over ways that you and your loved ones can stay safe through the storms.
Now this evening, it is our goal to go over with you different ways that you and your family can prepare for storm season 2022 and to also provide insight as to what this season may have in store for the South Plains. First things first, how do severe storms form across the South Plains? From late March through early July, the South Plains becomes particularly susceptible to thunderstorm development. During the spring to early summer months, our Earth begins to tilt back to where its northern hemisphere is facing the sun. This provides the northern hemisphere with more hours of daylight as the sun moves closer to being above the Tropic of Cancer. As the Earth's tilt begins to change, warm, moist air is able to move further north over the United States, while colder, drier air still has the ability to move pretty far to the south. Behind our polar jet stream is where we have our cold, dry Arctic air. Ahead of the jet stream is where we have our warm, moist, tropical air, which typically originates from the Gulf of Mexico. As a result of these temperature and moisture differences, storm systems tend to develop and travel along the polar jet stream. These are known as areas of low pressure or mid-latitude cyclones. When it comes to low pressure systems, air is sucked into the center from all different directions. This causes different types of fronts to develop. As warm air rushes to the north and into the center of the mid-latitude cyclone, it creates a warm front out ahead of the storm system. And vice versa, as cold air rushes towards the center of the storm system from the north, it creates a cold front behind the center of low pressure. When the warm, moist air meets the cold, dry air, a few things begin to happen. Along the cold front, the cold air is much denser than the warm air, and as a result, it hugs close to the surface, forcing the warm, moist air to rise. As our warm air rises, it begins to cool, causing moisture to condense into water droplets, and this is what results in the development of clouds and eventually showers and thunderstorms. As you go higher into the atmosphere, temperatures typically decrease with height. As long as temperatures continue to decrease with height, air will continue to rise. However, there is often a thin layer of warm air higher up in our atmosphere. This region where temperatures briefly increase with height is known as the cap. Since the temperature is no longer decreasing at the cap, air cannot continue to rise. If the temperature is warm enough at the Earth's surface, it causes the overall column of air to increase its temperature too. Eventually, our rising air will become warmer than the cap, allowing for the air to continue to rise. All of these processes give us three necessary ingredients for severe storm development. Those three ingredients include moisture, an unstable atmosphere, and a lifting mechanism. In order for a storm to be considered severe, it has to meet at least one of the following three criteria. Hail that is at least 1 inch in diameter, wind gusts in excess of 58 miles per hour, or it must be producing a tornado. Now that we know how thunderstorms develop, it's time to discuss what separates a generic thunderstorm from a severe thunderstorm.
After the break, I will go into depth about the different types of severe weather and severe weather alerts that we typically see across the South Plains each spring and the different hazards that each one of those storms presents.